Hi, welcome to class for everyone. I'm Roland and Corpus. I'm going to present another way how to solve a quadratic equation, and that is by completing the square. There are times that the quadratic equation cannot be solved by extracting the roots. There are times that the quadratic equation cannot be solved by factoring, because if the quadratic expression is not factorable, we cannot solve it. Just like this example. We have x squared minus 8x plus 6 equals 0. The factors of 6 is 2 and 3. And then 2 plus 3 is 5. Or 1 and 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. We cannot come up with factors which have a sum of 8. So, then, we cannot use factoring and extracting the roots. But we can still solve this quadratic equation using the method completing the square. Since it is completing the square, we have to square this term and then get the additive inverse of this. So we have x squared minus 8x equals negative 6. I told you we have to complete the square. This must be a perfect square trinomial. There is a missing constant. X squared minus 8x plus the constant is equal to negative 6 plus the constant. If I will add the constant here, I must also add the same constant to maintain the equality. But how will I get this? There's a formula. B over 2 squared. What is B? B is the numerical coefficient of the linear term. So here, we have a negative 8 over 2. And then square it. Negative 8 over 2 is negative 4. And negative 4 squared is 16. Therefore, this is 16. And since this is 16, I must also add 16 to the right side. This is already a perfect square trinomial. I can now factor this into a perfect square. So it is x minus 4 squared. And then, combining this, we have a 10. We can now use extracting the roots because this is already a perfect square. So, getting the square root of the left side, and then getting also the square root of the right side. The square root of the left side is x minus 4. The square root on the right side, the radicand is not a perfect square. So therefore, it is positive and a negative square root of 10. Since I'm looking for the value of x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 10. Which means to say that the roots are 4 plus square root of 10 and 4 minus square root of 10. We have two roots here which are irrational. Let us check. In checking the first root, I'll substitute the first root in the original equation. And that will be 4 plus the square root of 10 squared minus 8 times 4 plus the square root of 10 plus 6 equals 0. Squaring this binomial, I will have 16 plus 8 times the square root of 10 plus 10. Minus the distributive property 32 plus 8 times the square root, negative times positive is negative, times square root of 10 plus 6 equals 0. Now, these are opposite, this will become 0. 16 plus 10 is 26 minus 32 plus 6 equals 0. 26 minus 32 is negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. Negative 6 plus 6, 0 equals 0. The first root is correct. How about the second root? The second root is 4 minus the square root of 10 squared minus 8 times 4 minus the square root of 10 plus 6 equals 0. Squaring this binomial, we have 16 minus 8 times the square root of 10 plus 10 Distributing negative 8 to the binomial, we have negative 32. Negative is positive 8 times square root of 10 plus 6 equals 0. Negative 8 times square root of 10 plus positive 8 times square root of 10, they're opposite. It's already 0. 16 plus 10 is 26 minus 32 plus 6 equals 0. 26 minus 32 is negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. Negative 6 plus 6, 0 equals 0. Therefore, the roots are correct.